Hey everyone, welcome back to the Weekly Astrology and Pick a Card reading. This is for the week of the 21st of June through to the 27th of June 2021. Just a quick message before I get into the astrology part of the reading. For anyone that wants to book a private reading, this week is a good week to book if you want one, because I will be closing my online store just temporarily. I'm having a little bit of a break from taking new orders online. I will close my store for about a week to 2 weeks between the 27th and the 28th. So the end of this week, and I'll see how I go. I may close it for a week or 2 weeks depending. I haven't had a break for a really long time, so you know, it's going to be good for me to do that, to sort of you know, have a break, get my energy back and all that sort of thing. So as I said, if you'd like to book, this is a good week to do that. And while my store is closed, I will be catching up on people that have ordered previously to this week. Of course, if you're still waiting for a reading, I'm getting to yours. It just takes me a while because I'm busy between in-person, online bookings and everything else. All right, so that's that. Let's get into the astrology for this week. So a couple of major things this week. It is solstice week this week. So in the southern hemisphere here in Australia, it's the longest night, so shortest day, longest night. And in the northern hemisphere, it's the opposite, so the summer solstice. So the energies are pretty intense, and especially because we have still, as I mentioned the last couple of weeks, the Saturn-Uranus square still happening this whole month. And also this week we've got a full moon in Capricorn, you know, so there's a lot of energy. And at the solstice points, it's a very sort of peaked time. It's a lot of intense change energy is what I feel with the solstices, so, and the equinox. So yeah, interesting energies this week. Also a couple of other major things this week, and I will talk more about the full moon in Capricorn in a minute, but I just have to mention that Mercury goes direct this week, so yay for that. And that actually happens on Wednesday the 23rd. Well, it's Wednesday here in Australia, say the 23rd. Mercury's direct, and of course, you know, there's always a shadow period. Some people find, and I also sometimes find, depends on the Mercury sign that it's in. This one's been in Gemini, but with the Mercury direct, sometimes the day that Mercury goes direct, things can sort of temporarily intensify, and even the day after Mercury goes direct. So yeah, but you know, other astrologers will talk about the shadow period. I don't tend to mention that. I tend to just talk about when Mercury is retrograde and direct. So anyway, it goes technically direct from the 23rd this week. Also, Jupiter is going retrograde, so that's a very interesting transit as well. Jupiter from this week, from actually today, Monday, will be retrograde. So it's still in Pisces right now. It's at 2 degrees of Pisces. It'll retrograde back into Aquarius, and this will be in its retrograde motion until October 17th, and it goes direct. Jupiter goes direct on October 18th, a week after Saturn goes direct. So with those retrogrades, look, if you've got Jupiter retrograde in your natal chart, this can actually be a really amazing time for you, where you experience a lot of positive change and growth. If you don't have Jupiter retrograde in your natal chart, you'll probably find that this time is kind of more of a time for internal growth and evolution of your, you know, from within. So there can be a lot of growth happening, but it may be more on the internal, spiritual, emotional level of your life, such as having deep insights about things, having wisdom come to you, a lot of soul searching energy with the Jupiter retrograde that we've got now till October 17th. So, and the Saturn retrograde as well. So there's a lot of inner work that people will be doing with the Saturn retrograde that's happening, you know, that's been happening for a little while now until October 11th. That is an energy of reworking things of significance in your life that have a practical nature to them. I mentioned a bit about that in the last couple of readings, so I won't go over it again, but this is definitely more of an inward time, a time to do a lot of work, and on the internal level, on the behind the scenes level of your life. But it can, the Saturn retrograde can bring a lot of positive growth for you in your life, but it is definitely connected to a reevaluation in some way, or reworking things in some way. All right, so other stuff going on this week. Yes, the full moon in Capricorn. So that's on the 25th. This is a super moon, and so that's another reason the energies are intense. So when it's a super moon, the moon appears, you know, closer to the Earth, so it's usually a larger moon that we see when it's full. So it usually can be quite striking if you sort of catch it when it's on near the horizon. It's usually quite beautiful. I think it'll probably look even more intense in the northern hemisphere. It's called the strawberry moon because it's in the summer period over there. We're in winter here in Australia, but I think it's going to be a really beautiful full moon to look at. It is in Capricorn, so Capricorn rules time. It rules, you know, the energy of practical matters, ambition, goals, the structure and stability of your life, practical matters in general. So always the full moon is about releasing as well. So you may be looking at what are you releasing. Look at where you have look at, if you know your chart, where Capricorn falls in your chart. So there may be something that you're needing to let go of in some way during this time. It can be a good time actually to take a break from the hard work and the energy that you've been outputting on a constant basis. For some people, you know, it can be a time of taking a break. For others, it's a bit of a slowdown energy. Saturn, you know, ruled moon energy can be a bit of a slow aspect to it, or taking time with things to do things properly and methodically and thoroughly. It's releasing energy with the full moon, and it does make a sextile aspect to Jupiter in Pisces, which is supportive, though it's a very gentle aspect. So I don't know if I mentioned, but it's 3 degrees of Capricorn, the full moon. So if you have anything at 3 degrees of Capricorn in your chart, have a look at that. Have a look at where Capricorn falls in your chart. And obviously, if you've got Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, this can be a strong influence. And it's going to be different for everybody depending on your chart, but it's generally an energy of looking at work-related themes, practical matters, as I said, your ambitions, your goals, what things that you want to achieve next, but there may be something you need to let go of in order to get to the next phase of growth in your life. We also come into Cancer season this week from the 22nd. So Cancer season starts, so we're feeling more sentimental, more, maybe for some people it's connecting more with family, spending more time at home, wanting to spend more time at home, wanting to sort of decompress in the home, making more home cooked meals, spending more time with kids, family in general, all those people that you're close to in a soul tribe sense as well. So it can be connecting with people that you feel like kindred spirits in your life, soul family and that sort of thing. And the other influence this week, which is quite a strong one, is Venus opposite Pluto Venus in Cancer opposite Pluto in Capricorn. This is happening on the 24th and 25th this week. So if you have anything around 24 to 26 of Cancer, Capricorn, Aries or Libra, this energy can bring about manipulation type energy, power struggles, power and control issues. So just be very aware of that if you're any of those signs I mentioned. If you know your chart, you know your degrees. If you don't know the specifics of your degrees, if you're a Cancer and you're born later in Cancer, you'd have to have a heads up about this energy with Venus opposite Pluto. Or as well as if you're a Capricorn, Libra or Aries born, or you have anything between 24 and 26 degrees, there could be some power struggles or some very intense energy around authority figures, because Pluto in Capricorn, or women, Venus in Cancer. So it could be women in the workplace, it could be a boss in the workplace, it could be relationship energy. There's some intense energy brewing there. Just watch out for anything that's to do with power issues or your personal empowerment feeling threatened in some way. It's gonna, it can manifest in different ways, but these are kind of the key words that I'm giving you to give you a heads up. But as I said, it's mostly going to affect those signs that have anything from 24 to 26 of a cardinal sign. Was there anything else? Oh, I did forget to mention actually that Venus is trine Neptune from tomorrow, so just actually that one day. So I forgot to mention, sorry, I'm going back in to today on Monday. Venus trine Pluto is a very dreamy energy. It's a very psychic energy. Listen to your intuition, especially if you've got Cancer or Pisces in your chart, around 23, 22 to 24 degrees roughly. This is a very intuitive energy. It's a creative energy, and it is a little bit of it can be a bit of a energy of not wanting to work too hard. It can be sort of wanting to escape into a dream world a little bit, or feel like you're kind of in touch with some kind of mystical energy or escapist energy. So that's just for the 22nd though. And that's it for this week. I'm going to do the pick a card section now. So I've got 2 different decks this week. Because it's a full moon, I've got these surrender cards, Power of Surrender cards. I like these cards. And also the tarot deck that I'm using is the Tarot Familiars deck by Lisa Parker. So I haven't used these for ages actually. And let's go with the earth signs first. So This is for Taurus, Virgo and Capricorn people. Let's see what you guys have. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. What are the messages for you guys for this week? Ooh, jumping card. Ooh, 10 of Swords. Interesting. Well, that's very interesting because, you know, the full moon is about release and it's in an earth sign. So this is quite strong energy here. So I would say for Capricorns in particular, and obviously with the full moon in your sign, there is something that you're letting go of or trying to let go of here. Let's get you another tarot card. And it's, you know, for all the earth signs, there's a releasing going on. Interesting. So you're releasing something in order to find more balance. So that's really positive, I think. And there's a healing energy with the Temperance card. Let's see what else needs to be released with the Power of Surrender cards for the earth signs. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn this week. Surrender to creativity. Wow. So there might be some earth signs that are deciding to take a break this week, like myself. I'm an earth sign. I'm a Taurus sun. I'm looking at taking, well, I am taking a break from online orders from the 27th, which is this week. And then it's when you kind of release a little bit of something in your life that's bogging you down with this 10 of Swords, you're able to open up to your creative energy much more. So I am looking forward to that for myself. So you may be going through something where you have to look at putting down a burden in some way, or something that's dragging your energy around too much, or is putting too much pressure on you in some way. And even if it's just temporarily, so that you can get a bit of a breather. The card says, let your imagination soar. Stay open to all creative ideas about how to pursue a dream or solve a problem. Very earthy energy about solving problems. That's very Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus energy. See what the Astro dice have. We have the first house of self, which is very significant because with the 10 of Swords, you're letting something go that's been bogging you down, and you're looking at that first house energy, which is to do with your physical body, your well-being, your health, your path forward, your personal goals. And so maybe there's a bit of an energy where you've been giving a lot to others in some way, earth signs, and you're kind of having to come back to yourself a little bit now. You also have Mercury here and the sign of Leo. So there could be something to do with children for some of the earth signs, that has been maybe a busy time with children for some people. If it's not that, it could be that there's been a very creative, busy time with projects, or dealing with a lot of demands, dealing with a lot of output of work, dealing with a lot of creative projects or a lot of different things going on that has kept you quite mentally busy. And so it's funny because it talks about creativity. So it looks to me that as you surrender some burden, earth signs, this week, you're definitely going to have some creative ideas coming up that's going to help you feel inspired again if you've been feeling a bit lackluster or a bit bogged down. Okay, so that's the earth signs. Let's see what the air signs have. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Okay, we have a jumping card here. Judgment. Ooh. Okay. Gosh, these are strong cards. The air signs, you have the Judgment card and the Justice card. That's very intense. Oh, goodness. So it looks like the air signs are going through some kind of awakening with the Judgment card. Some kind of process that's very intense. Look at the way the cats are just staring you down. It's funny, there's two cats that have come up. And this deck does have a lot of different animals. It's got wolves, it's got deer, birds like crows, horses. Yeah, but that's very strong there. So something may be confronting you a little bit this week, air signs, where you feel like you have to admit something to yourself or deal with some kind of issue. Justice card often relates to marriage, contracts, marriage, other documents that are important that could have legal connotations. It could be something where this could just be for one or two people. I'm drawn to the Three of Swords there in the front. It's funny, the cat's got a tarot reading going on here, and the Three of Swords is at the front with a crystal on it. So there might be something that's been a bit painful that's come up that you have to deal with. Surrender your desire to control people. Wow. Being overly controlling can sabotage relationships. To more effectively achieve your goals, back off, regroup, and give the situation more breathing room. Okay. So there seems to be some power struggles going on for some of the air signs in regards to relationships, especially with the Justice card here, which is the Libra energy. And this seems to be echoing that. So there's very Libra Scorpio energy here for the air sign. So they may be dealing with someone that has some of those placements, or yourself. I'm just going to see what other messages here, and then I'm also going to get the Astro dice. So I feel like these two cards are saying awakening to something that needs to be rebalanced in terms of some kind of karma. So it might be to do with a relationship where something needs to be rebalanced, and you need to awaken to the reality of what's going on here, rather than trying to sort of white knuckle it and just get through all the time. So there's something that needs to be aired out here is what I'm feeling. There's a bogged down energy, there's a heaviness, and there's a feeling, and you know, this is not going to be for everyone because obviously it's a general reading, but for some air signs it's this energy of needing to air your truth, and that's, well, that's very air sign orientated, is to, you know, speak out your truth and to release your emotions and thoughts to be heard. So that's very much an air sign energy, because there's a lot of undercurrents here that are very controlling, and you may, look, this might be one or two people, you may feel controlled in a situation, whether it's a work situation or a relationship. Let's look at the Astro dice, see what else comes up. Okay, so we have Leo again. That came up for the last sign. Neptune. Interesting. So Neptune can be about deception. I did hear deception. So this could be just for some people. Work comes up, work and health. So look after your health. Very important. You may be in denial about something that you don't want to face, and it might be you're repressing some emotions there on some level that could be affecting your health. For some people, not all the air signs. Leo comes up, so there's matters of the heart that come up as well. So look, there could be power struggles as well. I feel like this, for some people, this is work and work situations, and for other air signs, this is relationship. For some people, it might be both. There are issues coming up. There are something to confront here. Neptune in the 6th house talks about deception. For some, it's in the workplace. For some, it's to do with something health related, where maybe it's to do with other people around you and perception, unclear perception. Leo is a very strong energy about standing your ground as well, being strong in yourself, knowing your own heart, knowing your own truth, and being in touch with that, rather than the Neptune energy, which is about deception, denial, which is what I'm picking up here. So there's a bit of a heavy energy with the air signs, different for everyone, but that's what I'm picking up on. Okay, so, and if, you know, the reading didn't resonate for you, go to your rising sign element or even your moon sign to see what's come up. I'm doing fire next, so this is for Aries, Leo and Sagittarius. Okay, Aries, Leo, Sag. Something here. Oh, the Lovers. Interesting. One more. Aries, Leo, Sag. We have the Ace of Wands. Wow. Okay, so it's very intense, passionate energy to do with relationships for the fire signs. Let's see what else though. If you're not in a relationship, it's that you're feeling very interested in, you know, maybe wanting to start a relationship or have a relationship or have some kind of connection in your life. This is very strong energy. There is a desire for a new beginning in love. If you're in a relationship already, this is very passionate energy with regards to decisions and relationships. No, there's something back here, I feel that. Surrender the habit of people pleasing. Interesting. Normally fire signs aren't so focused on that kind of thing. However, you know, this is one aspect of your chart. So if you've got like a Libra moon or a Libra sun or a lot of 7th house, or, you know, like a south node in the 7th house in Libra, or in, you know, any sign that's in the 7th house, you could be struggling with this for some reason this week. You may be very aware of what other people's opinions are this week, and maybe you're trying to mitigate some heavy, intense, passionate energy, some debating energy. For some people it could be that. For others, there's something about harmony in relationships. There could be a new relationship for some of the fire signs out there as well. Let's see what the Astro dice say. Venus, Libra. Oh my gosh, I mentioned Libra. How funny. And that comes up. Workplace comes up as well. So the 6th house and the sign of Libra come up. Also Venus, which rules Libra and Taurus. So look, it's so funny. Venus and Libra comes up with the Lovers. So there's obviously something for some of you out there, some of you fire signs, where there's a new relationship or an exciting new beginning around a relationship, but having to compromise with someone else in terms of perspectives, what you want to do versus what the other person wants to do. Venus Libra energy on the Astro dice talks about harmony and finding that common ground or that balance point between the two of you. For some people, 6th house work and routine talks about having to work on more balance in your relationships with your work colleagues, or having to work on more balance in your relationship within a love relationship or a partnership or a marriage or something along those lines. It could be just dealing with people in general this week, striving for balance, because you might be feeling very passionate and opinionated as well for some of you. which wouldn't surprise me for the fire signs because they tend to naturally be that way inclined. All right, so lastly, water signs. Let's see what's coming up for Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. Oh, the Ten of Swords again. That came up for the first group that I did, the Earth signs. How funny. Okay, some more endings energy, which doesn't surprise me with the full moon. Oh, the Ace of Wands, which the fire signs just got. Wow. So this is very strong together for the water signs. It talks about a very strong ending and a very strong new beginning. It's very dramatic kind of energy here I'm picking up on. So look, again, it's not for everybody, but some of the water signs may be going through some kind of ending and new beginning in some aspect of your life. It can be relationship, it can be work, it can be something significant, it could be a house move, it could be just anything that's very strong and important in your life. If you don't know what this is, it could be something that does come up this week unexpectedly, but I think most watching would know what this is. And look, we have surrender fear. So for the water signs, I feel like especially Scorpio, because out of all the water signs, Scorpio is the one that loves to be in control the most, and usually because of fear. Surrender your fear, Scorpios in particular, but all the water signs. Let go of the fearful stories you're telling yourself. Stay in the moment. Focus on solutions and celebrate every baby step forward. Wow. So what I'm also getting is don't jump ahead too far in the future, water signs, with thinking about, you know, if I do this, then this will happen, because you don't always know. You know, you have to go with your gut instinct. Trust your watery nature, which is your intuition. And you can't always jump ahead and prevent every possible, you know, have a contingency plan for every possible outcome. Though Scorpio really loves to think like that. This is about being more trusting of your instinct and knowing what you have to do for yourself, rather than sort of trying to cover everything logically before you get there. And, you know, some of the water signs watching may have a lot of air in their chart that they're doing that. So there's a very strong message about that. But what I'm getting here very strongly for a lot of the water sign energies, whether it's your rising sun or moon, there is some kind of ending and new beginning that's coming in. And it's triggering a fear for some reason, and probably because it's maybe feels like it's threatening to your security to make a change, but you know you want to, that kind of thing. Whether it's, you know, as I said, a job or relationship. Let's look at the Astro dice for the water signs. Oh my gosh, I got Scorpio. I cannot believe this. I literally just mentioned Scorpio as the main water sign that I was getting the message for, and guess what comes out? Unbelievable. And we have Mercury here. Okay, so interesting. And one more. Third house, yeah, interesting, because I'm just really amazed with that. I love the way this works. Oh gosh. All right, so Mercury in the third house is a lot of thinking going on. It's so funny, I even said you could have a lot of air in your chart. Well, Mercury is, you know, rules Gemini, and the third house is an air house. It's the Gemini house. So Mercury also rules Virgo as well, but it's a very logical energy. So I did say you may be struggling between logic and your emotions. This is something that's coming up for the water signs this week, a struggle between your gut feeling of what you know that you're meant to do and your logical mind, which may be coming in and confusing you, or, you know, kind of throwing you off a little bit and going, oh, but what about this, or what about that, and that kind of thing. So, you know, your message here is, if there's change going on for you this week, or there's a decision point of some kind or a new beginning, go with your intuition. Don't second guess yourself. Okay, so I do feel there's definitely, there might be a couple of people watching that have water and air in their chart quite prominently, and this is causing some inner conflict. And also I feel that for some of the water signs, there's a lot of fear energy around you. It could be from other people. I don't feel like it's all coming from within you. For some, it's other people's influence, and it's almost like you have to sort of block out the negative voices at this time. This might just be for a few people. I'm getting that message. All right, guys. So those were the messages for this week. Thank you so much to everybody for watching. And I will speak to you next week. Okay. Thanks, guys. Bye.